Welcome back to another episode of Kicking It with KeKe, Life, Love, and Mindset. I am your host, Kiki Chanel, award-winning author, lifestyle blogger, and owner of 19 Lifestyle Magazine. Around here, we talk about life, love, mindset, and all the things I am excited about today. I have some fellow magazine people with me today. Y'all know how I like to do, though. I like to give them the opportunity to introduce themselves to you guys. So we will start with the newbie because y'all know Simone. She is a regular here. So we're gonna let the newbie tell you guys who he is, and then we'll talk to the vet in a little bit. So Jesse, thank you for coming to kick it with me today.
Thank you so much for having me. I'm really excited about being a part of this today. Seriously.
Absolutely. Simone, thank you for coming back.
Oh, my pleasure. I'm
Absolutely.
glad
So
to be back.
Absolutely. So, Jesse, go ahead and tell the listeners who you are and what you do.
Yes, I am Jesse Jones. I am the new appointed co-editor for ReBirth Magazine. I am an educator of over 10 years. I am a mentor. I am an advocate for mental health. Um, yeah, I'm just like everybody else. Except I consider myself somebody that wants to put the work in to make situations and circumstances better for my community instead of, sitting around and allowing it to unfold in whichever way it does. I like, being a part of the change I want to see. So that's the overarching theme for me.
I love
That's
that.
the mission.
I love being a part of the change, and that
Hmm.
matters most. I love it. I love it. All right, Simone, telling people who you are all that they know. Tell them again.
I am Simone Higginbotham. I'm the founder of ReBirth Magazine. Um, 13 years old, the magazine. So I'm an advocate. I'm a domestic violence advocate. I've been involved in community service for as long as I can possibly remember. I love being a part of the community. I love, like Jesse said, seeing things unfold and being a part of the change. I love to educate people, things that they don't know. And that was the really the driving mission behind Rebirth when I founded it, because I wanted people to have a platform to where they knew about what was going on in their community. They needed to know about resources that they necessarily did not receive. And I'm gonna say this, especially North Baton Rouge, where I'm from. There are a lot of times they don't get what the other side of town gets. But that's who I am. Over that, I am. I've been involved with education as far as working with some charter schools as a student and family and community liaison. Also, care specialist in healthcare. I've been in healthcare probably 20 plus years, but my heart is community. My heart is women, men, and children and families overall. But what in the last couple of years, I'm evolving Rebirth Magazine because I wanted to be an opportunity to connect the generations, to create legacy, but not in the mindset of we most times when we say legacy, we think about monetary things, property, cars, houses. I'm not talking about those things. I'm talking about those characteristics that we can pass on to our children, stories about triumph, stories about overcoming, or either there's stories about just being a part of where they're from. And without doing that, we'll never get to the next step as people.
Absolutely. And you kind of jumped the gun because I wanted to ask you. I know you've been doing Rebirth Magazine for 13 years now. What decided the change, like the pivot, with to bring in a co-editor?
Because I turned 55 this year. And really, when I turned 50, I started to look at life and look at the world in a different way. As you get older, you come to the realization that, you have to change with the time. And I
Mhm.
knew that, I couldn't take that upon myself and make the change, the evolution of rebirth that I see, that I want to see happen. So I am the foundation, but Jesse is a millennial. They're the dreamers. So
Mm.
he's going to be the evolution for rebirth. He's going to be that connection that connects to the next, to the Gen Z. There's such a gap in generations. We no longer tell stories. We no longer curate stories. We no longer collect our stories. And I think, uh, once we get to that point, then I think things will be a little bit better for us. But that was the reason, the change kind of, it really started at 50, my thoughts about it. But when I looked at myself, and I say in the mirror, the woman in the mirror, and I knew that I couldn't carry that torch. I couldn't do that. So I had to pass it on to someone else to be up alongside me to help me evolve the magazine, to kind of modernize it, to move with the times.
I love that. Now, Jesse, what inspired you to answer the call when Simone reached out?
I have been following Rebirth for a few years actually, and I had seen the type of stories and the type of community work Rebirth has been, central in. I was excited about, having the opportunity to be a part of this because I knew that, especially when she ran down like the reason for wanting to even bring a co-editor in, I knew that the work that we could do would be a bridge between those generations. Um, I'm looking forward to expanding the voice or expanding the audience of the publication. And I'm just excited about the work. I'm already rooted in the community. I'm an educator, like I said. So I have a million stories I could tell about that, but even more interested in like getting outside of even the schoolhouse and kind of sharing these stories of our community. So,
I love it. I love it. All right, so we're going to get a little personal right now.
oh,
If someone described you in 3 words, what would they be and why?
hmm. The first word that comes to mind for me is like mysterious. I've heard this a few times in my life. For whatever reason, people think I'm mysterious. Um, I don't do a whole lot of talking, and I think that's the reason they might say that. So I've
Mhm.
heard mysterious, I've heard uh intelligent, of course. Just being able to um have a platform and everything to kind of share that intelligence and share some of the wisdom and knowledge I have is another reason I was excited to be a part of Rebirth. And then lastly, I would say community rooted. I'm always in the community. I'm from New Orleans. I did a lot of work out there. I was an educator out there for over 6 years, 7 years. So being able to lead a publication, to be a part of leading a publication, and all these hats I wear, and being able to kind of switch them out and do these or something that I naturally gravitate toward, and I'm excited about being able to do that. So,
Okay, I like
mhm.
that. Miss Simone?
I guess I've heard humble.
Hmm.
Uh, People have described me to be knowledgeable and approachable. I've heard that many, many times. And I think because I'm a person, what you see is what you get.
Hmm.
It's no pretense or trying to be something someone that I'm not. And I think that's why they say that about me. Anybody, I'm a lady I ran across at the Shoppers Value, and she follows me on social media. But I didn't know, never met her face to face. But when she told me who she was, I recognized the name. And
Mm.
she told me, she said, I didn't expect to say most times when I recognize people that have a kind of a following or whatever on social media, she said they act like, they don't want to be bothered or act
Hmm.
funny or whatever. I laughed. I said, no, ma'am. I say, no matter what I'm feeling or what I'm going through, I'm gonna always be the same. You never know when something's going on with me unless I say so.
Mm.
I carry that, and I don't know if that's a good thing or not, but well, no matter what's going on, you're gonna always meet me the same. And that's what she said. And that happened. So I would think about that. Those are the 3 things. And another instance is, I've been told that no matter when a lady told me, no matter when I come across you, you're always the same. You never treat me differently, and I never treat anybody differently, no matter what their background and where they're from, because I'm a firm believer that where you were does not determine, or where you are determine where you can be
Hmm.
Mhm. Mhm.
or where you're going. And I
I
think
agree.
that's where we have lost that connect with people. That we look at people now and, oh, they're gonna always be this or they're gonna always be that, but that's absolutely incorrect. I'm a I'm a living example of where you're from does not determine who you're going to be.
Absolutely. I love that. And I think that that will make a great combination. And I'm excited to also be a part of Rebirth Magazine. And I just can't wait for it to see what you guys come up with moving forward with the publication. So I'm excited about it. Congratulations on the rebranding and
Thank you.
Thank
congratulations,
you.
Jesse, for
Appreciate
being a part of the publication. And I want to talk about life a little bit. How has your personal journey influenced the stories you're passionate about telling through the magazine? And I'll start with Simone since you are the seasoned magazine person today.
I think because I want the magazine to be relatable. I don't want to put, I see a lot of publications. They publish articles and things that people that are may have made it to whatever they're trying to get, or if they're building a business, they've built it and it's doing really really well. I love to get stories and curate stories and that show the struggle, people that are in the struggle. This is where I am. This is what I'm starting, and this is where I want to go. This is where I want to be, because I think a lot of the articles are a reflection of me, or a
Mhm.
reflection of someone that I'm close to. So I always said I wanted uh, my magazine to be every article to be relatable to somebody. I don't want it to be, you're looking at something that you know absolutely nothing about. So those are the stories that we look for. We look for people that have a voice, but not necessarily have the platform to share their story. And I didn't tell you something. When you asked me, I just thought about this. I was actually on a podcast about 2 years ago, maybe 3 years ago, and the guy that hosts, he said, "Do you realize that you are a curator of stories?" I didn't realize that.
Mhm.
I didn't look at myself as that. And when I thought about it, it dawned on me. I said, "You're absolutely right." When I think about all of the people that I have come to me and they have been either shared on our social media, or I look at a lot of them that are going on and they're doing great things in the community. They were, and through the Legend Awards, they were virtually unknown, but now they're, whatever their cause or whatever their nonprofit or whatever their for-profit business, they have gone on to really be good stewards of their communities, and that I love that. So that is why some of the articles and columns, they are a reflection of me, a reflection of my life, some of my experiences in life, even say my mother's experiences or my brother or my grandmother's experience. Those experiences that I've had. That's why I choose the type of topics that I choose, type of articles.
I love it. Jesse, we're gonna shift into love real quick because I know you talked about, being a lover of the community and education and things like that. So we often talk about love beyond romance. What does love look like in leadership, collaboration, and community for you?
I would say I would go back to the different hats I wear. So as far
Mm,
as being educator, a mentor, now an editor at this point, in these different facets, I've run across people or individuals that literally have a story worth sharing in every one of these spaces. So being able to being those spaces, have conversations with these people, hear some of the things that they have to say, and then being able to project those stories in the most authentic and the most vulnerable way, I feel like will, in a lot of ways, help other people, help our audience. So that's what I would say. I'm really excited about being able to share those stories. Really excited about being able to share these stories. There's a lot of things going on in this world, and people don't have um, anybody to speak to, and they just want a way to kind of share some of the things that they've gone through. So being able to kind of share those stories, project those stories onto our audience is important to me. I'm looking
mhm.
forward to doing the work.
Absolutely. And we all know rebirth begins with the mind before it
Mhm.
becomes a reality, right? So what
Hmm.
mindset shift has been the most transformative for your own life?
I would say curiosity for me
Mm,
is being curious instead of jumping into emotions and feeling like somebody's trying to do something to me or the universe is working against me. Looking at it from from a lens of curiosity and wondering why, even if you got to go and look it up or research something, instead of just being so concrete in our thoughts, being able to leave a little room for curiosity.
Mm.
So you have a way of like actually going and looking at it and figuring out what it actually is versus just jumping in emotionally.
I love that answer. What about you, Simone?
Allowing myself to be vulnerable,
Mm.
vulnerability. I struggled with that. So that was one of the things that I said at the end of last year, to be allow myself to be vulnerable, and also to, alongside that, to be more open uh, to change, to be able to move beyond what my thought process may have been. When you think about things in a certain way, and I think it has a lot to do with the way that you were raised or reared, or all that comes from the household. And you carry that stuff. You It's almost like baggage. But that was the two things that, being vulnerable and being more open for change, and to allow change, to allow things to evolve. And every time that, necessarily never, you're not guaranteed that anything is going to work or it's going to work out, but you got to allow yourself to be vulnerable and open, to try and accept change and just roll with it. And, however it may unfold or whatever it may become, accept it, step back and figure out how you can fix it, or you can just get rid of it altogether. So, but that's those are the things that come to mind for me.
All right. How is today's Rebirth magazine different from what people may remember in the past?
Hmm.
Why do you think about that? I want Jesse to kind of like talk about that real quick. Since he's the newbie, like, what do you want readers to take away from the new Rebirth magazine uh, that they may not remember from past editions?
Yeah, we're gonna be zooming in on like community stories, people that are actually going through something, people that have something to show for what it is that they went through. We're gonna be sitting down and having like real, honest, authentic, transparent conversations with these people, giving them an opportunity to share their story, hopefully help somebody in the audience. And then we also want to expand the audience. I know the magazine the last 13 years has been geared primarily towards women. We want to
Mhm.
bring the fellas in and give them a voice to be able to share some of the things that's on their heart and mind as well. So, yeah.
Love it.
Well, he kind of stole what I was going to say, but uh, you
Sorry.
know, the old rebirth, when I started, it was all about women, because again, it was kind of a reflection of me, because uh, I was in a place in life where I think I felt that I had a need to be empowered. I have come a long way. Anybody that know you, I used to wouldn't say a word. I was so quiet, wouldn't have any conversations, and be in a room full of people and wouldn't say anything. But this was a way for, I think, that was like a coming out for me. And a lot of the people that started out with me doing this publication, also it was a stepping stone for them to come out. A lot of them were in the same situation that I was in. So I'm gonna say that the past rebirth versus this one is the simple fact that it has evolved. We were just an infant, like a baby, that we were learning, and it was a learning process. There were failures. There were things that did not work. I mean, sometimes, even with the look of the magazine has evolved. So, there's a big change. We've grown up. We're a teenager now.
Hmm.
We're becoming a teenager. We're becoming into puberty, I guess, and you want to just compare it to a human being. But when I started out, it was a baby. I birthed it, and it was a baby. It was a toddler. We had the terrible twos where we struggled with getting things done, and ideas of how we wanted to move forward. We had all of those things, that issues that we go through as human beings. The magazine has gone through the same process, but now we're becoming a teenager this year. But I see we're becoming more modernized. We have systems in place, and I have a small team. I have a much smaller team, so what I love about this team, they're young. They're younger than me, so they're gonna keep not just me, but the magazine is always gonna be fresh. It's gonna be on point. It's gonna be the next trending things. We have a creative director, Sierra Daniels. Sierra is a she's so big on systems and doing things a certain way, and she makes me think outside of that little box that I normally sit in.
Mm-hmm.
Denise Dyson. She handles all the website stuff, and even the website is gonna have a brand new look. And and then when I met with Jesse, the thing about Jesse is we said we need to modernize. We need a modern look. So that was the thing, and like and they'll tell you anything they say. Look, I say y'all are the creative minds behind this to help this magazine to go to the next level. Y'all are the evolution because Jesse and Sierra are millennials and Denise. I don't have a Gen Z, but I'm looking for me a Gen Z. Uh,
Mm-hmm.
I want everybody to represent be a part of the magazine that represents every generation because we have, in order, how can we possibly connect with our audience? If we want to connect the audience by generations, so us as a team, we have to have that representation and be that voice for each generation. So, yeah, we've grown. We're a teenager now, and I'm so excited about the rest of this year. And I'm already in July looking forward to 2027. All the things that we're going to do. You're going to see us around the community. We're going to be at events, and we're going to be interviewing people and talking to people and finding out what people's thoughts are. And we just want to be a part of the community. We want to be visible, really visible. We don't want to be just sitting back and behind the keyboard, so to say, with the social media. We want to be a part of it, part of the people, part of the change, part of the evolution.
I love that. Congratulations again, and I look forward to see
Thank you so much.
how the teenage years is gonna go with the magazine. Yeah, so we're
These are
gonna
going to
move
be
into
the
the
wonder
reality check.
years.
Oh yeah,
Right.
the
These are going
teenage
to be the
years are
wonder
gonna be.
years.
I think that the teenage years are gonna be trailblazing. Like it's gonna set the standard for the future of Rebirth Magazine, and I
Hmm.
can't wait to see how it all turns out. So I'm excited
And be a
for
part of it, right?
yeah,
Right.
yeah, absolutely. All
Look,
right, so
and I've done articles for 19, and I love 19. I love when
Listen, listen. I was gonna
look.
tell the people that Simone has written our cover story for the issue of 19 magazine, that 19 Lifestyle magazine that will be dropping on the 19th of this month.
Mhm.
So it was an amazing article. It is an
Thank
amazing
you.
article. You
Thank
guys
you.
are in for a treat when it drops. You can get it in digital and in print. Thank you very much. And it is right
Oh,
here.
wow.
It's
Yeah,
beautiful.
Nice.
it looks really good. I love it. Y'all can't see her article. Y'all got to buy it to see it.
Don't give too much away, huh?
Yeah, okay, just a little snippet, just a little snippet. But I want to move into
Yeah.
the reality check, and I'm going to ask you guys a question. Both of you, I would love for you to answer.
Mhm.
Many people are afraid to start over because they think beginning again means you fail.
Mhm.
What's your message to someone standing at the edge of their new rebirth?
Hmm.
Don't quit. Don't quit. You might be 2 steps away from your win. Don't
I would,
Absolutely.
quit.
yeah, absolutely. I agree. And I also would say to whatever you may have not completed or you feel like you failed at, look back at that as a learning point, where you've learned. Take what you've learned
Mhm.
from that failure and move into your next.
Mhm.
If I had $1 for everything I failed at, I would be absolutely rich. So I'm here to tell you, nothing beats. Oh Lord, I'm turning into my mama. Nothing. She used to say, nothing beats a failure but a try.
Oh,
Mm.
wow.
She used to tell
Mm.
me that all the time. Nothing beats a failure but a try. So,
I love that. Come on,
Wow.
mama.
yeah. Oh, look, I'm working on a book of Mama's sayings because baby Mama had some sayings.
Love it. I love it. All right, moving forward, we're talking about the mindset moment. So I'm going to ask you this question. I would love for you both to finish the sentence, right?
Okay.
So rebirth begins the moment you.
Mm.
Try.
Mm.
Hmm.
What you say, Jesse?
Rebirth begins the moment you self-reflect.
Mm.
Can I explain?
Yes.
Rebirth begins the moment you self-reflect because in order to win at anything, you have to be able to kind of identify what it is that's keeping you from winning.
Mm.
So being able to acknowledge those things and remove them um, is crucial in your growth and your ascension because that might essentially be a barrier for you. And if you're not removing barriers, how do you expect to get through and break through into this next level that you're destined for?
I love
Jay
it.
Z has a Jay Z has a quote in one of his or a bar in one of his raps, and he raps that you can't heal what you don't reveal.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, being able to identify what it is in yourself that's keeping you from reaching your fullest potential is crucial.
I love it. It is. It is. And a lot of people are afraid of self-reflection because they don't want to take that accountability.
Exactly.
Sometimes you have to dig deep to uncover some things that you subconsciously put down there so that you can release that in order to experience your rebirth.
Yes.
Yeah, I love it. Okay. What's one daily habit that helps you maintain a healthy mindset as leaders and creatives?
For me, it has been prayer in the morning. I start my day off with prayer, and after I've always done that, but then I added on to that a couple of years ago. I write affirmations.
Mhm.
I keep a journal, and they're filled with affirmations. You know, things that um, there could be good things about myself or things that how I want to see my day go. And I find that when I put that in writing, somehow that pushes me to accomplish the things that I need to accomplish. And then also, I don't know, at the end of the day, I go back, and especially when I get in bed at night and I look at all the things that I've accomplished. You know, I was able to do this. Um, and the things that I haven't done, I always take them in. I learned this from Marvin Anderson. You know, I've stopped having that sense of urgency about life. So
Mm,
if it, doesn't happen today, then it rolls over into the next day.
Mhm.
Everything that comes here or here, I don't necessarily have to get it out right away. I don't know if that makes sense or not,
it
but
does.
Yes, it does.
uh, I
Hmm.
learned that from him. You know, I call him the Marvin Anderson. Mark, let me tell you something. Uh, I'm not a coach, a life coach, or any type of coach. But I found that thought process from him. I was at a place in life where about 3 years ago. It's like a standstill, and I don't know. He must have known it, but he would call me once a week, and we would have this conversation. And I always give him a he poured into me, and I needed it. I was like a sponge, and then I realized, how to think things out. Um, and start your day off. If you don't start your day off wrong, most likely your whole day gonna just go. And
Mhm.
I've had some issues in the last 3 months, and if it hadn't been for me having that process every day, no matter how much pain I was in, I did that. I had my moment, my time with prayer, my time with God, my quiet time with Him. And then I would go on and I would write, this is going to happen today. This one morning I remember I was saying, this is not going to be always. I'm not going to always be in this pain. This pain is not going to always be at this level. I am going to overcome this pain. This is not going to determine who I am, where I'm going. Sometimes we get lost in what's going on in our life, but that those two things in the morning, that's what helped me with my day and helped me to be able to sustain my sanity. Really, really, to be honest, because the world that we live in is quick. You'll be quick to lose your mind. Mental health. You have to stay on top of that. What we live with, daily things that we all live with. I don't care if you're a millionaire. You always have something going on, some type of issue, And like I say, prayer and affirmations and writing out my feelings and getting those feelings out on paper have helped me tremendously.
Mm.
What about you, Jesse?
I would say silence and stillness.
Mm.
So in the age of algorithms and instant gratification and urgency and hustling and all of these things, being able to take a moment to just sit still and quietly has actually that's something I learned from my wife. Um, I play music all day long. I like having conversation most of the day. I like doing different things. And she was like, "Do you ever just want to just not talk and not listen to that music that loud and stuff?" So she's been a catalyst in that area of my life and me developing in that area. But just being able to kind of have those moments where you reset and have those moments where you're able to, I call it cleaning your mental palette.
Yes, I love
Um,
it.
yes, being able to have those moments where you just sit in silence and just kind of, and it also in a way it's a way of releasing all the things that you've been dealing with in your life and your day.
Right.
Being able to kind of sit and be quiet and just, kind of have a moment to where you can kind of clean your palate.
Absolutely. I agree with your wife. I like silence. Says the podcast host, right?
Right, right.
All right, so we're moving into the mic drop moment. Last question of the episode. When life challenges you and love stretches you, what mindset keeps you grounded?
Mm.
Hmm.
I
I
would
would,
have to go back to the curiosity.
Mm.
That's something I just have naturally always been. Um, and if something is uncomfortable for me, I take a step back and I kind of re-examine what's going on. So I just talked about the self-acknowledgement and being able to, kind of take a step back and look at the steps you've taken and look at where you might have misstepped and being mature enough and having the wherewithal to kind of look at those things and being able to kind of change your patterns or your steps. And curiosity has been the focal point in everything I've ever created. So I would definitely say curiosity for me.
Okay.
hmm. I would say I'm gonna say the Phoenix mindset.
Mm.
Sometimes we have to lose to win. So, as Fantasia says, um,
Mhm.
and I have learned that sometimes a loss is not really a loss.
Mm,
You're beginning gives you a fresh start, a
Mhm.
new outlook. So no matter what it is, if I'm not going to have a sense of urgency about it. I'm not going to. I don't. I try not to stress about anything because I look at that mindset. A phoenix it burned to ashes, but it always rose again. So no
Mhm.
matter what you're going through, you're always gonna have to have that ability to come back to life, to start
mm,
over, to begin again. To this, it's just you just have to keep that mindset. Sometimes you just have to win. You have to lose to win. So then that's life. It's gonna be ups and downs, and we have to learn how to uh, travel those ups and downs, those highs and
mm.
lows. But I've had to learn that I've had highs and lows forever. I think I'm an expert at maneuvering them. But that's what we have to do. We have to have that mindset, the Phoenix mindset.
I love that. I love that. This has been an amazing episode. I want to thank you guys for being here with me today.
Thank you for
Thank you
having us.
guys for
Love being here.
Hmm.
Yes, thank you for sharing like more about Rebirth Magazine. So to anyone, I know I said that was the last question, but to anyone that would like to be more acquainted with the magazine, how can they follow, support, subscribe, get a copy? How can they become a reader of
Okay.
Rebirth Magazine?
Absolutely. Right now, the website is being remodeled, but you can go to our page, a landing page that we have up, and subscribe for updates. We would love, and that's www.rebirthmagazine.com. Or you can follow us on Facebook, Rebirth Magazine, Instagram, Rebirth underscore magazine underscore BR. And also, we're on TikTok, Rebirth. Follow us, subscribe to our YouTube page, also Rebirth Magazine. We got some great things coming up. If you go to the website and subscribe, we can update you all about our event August 16th, where we will have our Legend Award honoree announcement and also our community mixer. That means we'll have a vendor market, we'll have resources for the community, just an opportunity for everyone from every part of our community, be it be clergy, political, business owners, nonprofit owners, will all be in one place at the main library in Baton Rouge, 7111 Goodwood Boulevard, April 16th from 4 to 7 p.m. So please go over to Eventbrite and register for that free program, that free event. So I'm excited about that. I'm super excited about that.
Absolutely. I'm excited about it too. I see y'all there, okay? I'm gonna see y'all there.
Indeed.
But thank you guys for tuning in to another episode of Kicking It with KeKe, Life, Love, and Mindset. Remember, your story has power, your voice has purpose, and your mindset can change everything. Keep growing, keep showing up for yourself, and keep your mindset strong. Until next time, purple hugs. Later.